Hello and welcome to Affinity. In adding our understanding of Affinity Photo, we're going to add a little more now. Down here, we've got these things we've used before, these icons. We know what a mask is. We know here we add adjustments, and over here we add the filters like blurs and so on. But in there, what's this FX? We're going to use this one. First of all, what we're going to do here is going to go down to the shapes here and take an ellipse. And this is an extra little technique you can use anyway. I'm going to draw that over this guy here because he's the main focus and I want him to stand out. And the way I can do that is I go down here and just scan down the blend modes, and when I get down to here to overlay, you can see the contrast increases, but it's kind of overly bright here. So if I turn the opacity down on that, it gets there and it's near the bottom. See, it just brightens him up a bit, but it's got a hard edge around it, so I need to soften it. I could go to the live filters and go to the Gaussian blur and put a blur on it like that way. But what I can also do is I can go to the FX here, and if I click on this, up comes this panel here. Let's just take this over here so I can see it all. And it lets me put in a blur here. I have to first of all turn it on there, and then I can turn up the radius. And you can see it's blurring that edge there, so this is becoming less distinct. And I can click in there and even type something bigger, like 200, and that blurs it even more. And if I just close that for now, I'll go away from this moment. I'll click on the hand there so that the blue line isn't getting in the way. But you can see now that before it even looks a bit dark, and afterwards it's just brightened it up. But I bring down the opacity so it just looks natural, but just a little bit brighter. There we go. Notice also here there's a little FX has appeared here. That's telling me that I've got an FX set on that. Otherwise it can be tricky to know. So let's go to the background and see what else I can do here. I'll just click on the FX on this. And now what I can do is these down here, a number of these are just for like doing graphics things, so you can explore those. But I'm going to go to the outline. So I click on that. But I've turned it on, but I haven't got the controls. I actually have to click on the word outline to get that blue highlight. And now I've got the controls for it. So now what I can do here is put an outline around the picture. So the color here, let's make that white, and see it's the same sort of controls you get elsewhere. Now if I turn up the radius here, nothing's happening. And it's because this way it says here outside, it's trying to do it outside here, but we can't see outside. That's for doing when you've got like a shape inside the picture. So if I click on here and go down to inside, now that if I turn up the radius, here you can see I can do myself a border. Often with pictures it's really nice just to have a very small line around the outside because it just holds the eye in and it makes it look a bit more professional. You can also play around with the fill style there, and that does things like gradients and so on. One other thing to notice, by the way, over here I've got an effects tab. If I click on that, I've got the same things here. It's exactly the same. So I've got outline checked here, but notice here there are only 3 things here. It's kind of tried to simplify it, and it hasn't got that alignment which let me set the inside. Because it's trying to be clever and nice to me, but not giving me everything, I tend not to use this. I like to see all the controls I got, so I always use the FX down the bottom. You click on that, and that brings this up. And there we go. So we do that outline. So let's just do one more and see what else we can do. The gradient overlay I'll leave for now because that's a bit more complex. But the color overlay here, if I click on this one here, it puts a color on top. So I can click on the color there. Let's put a nice kind of orange color. And you can play with opacity as well, but blend mode I usually do first. Click on this, and often the best one here, let's go straight down to it, is soft light, because that's a kind of gentle light all over. And you usually then turn down the opacity. So you just set it to something that just adds a little bit of warming nicely on the picture. So there we go. using the FX. You can see you've got it there. You can click on that one always to bring it up. You can see where the tech check marks are, and you click on the words to bring up the controls to adjustment. And then there otherwise it's a free control, just like that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.